How's it going? My name's Jared. I'm a toy photographer. You can find me on social media at SirDork730, Instagram and YouTube, all of that. I'm from upstate New York. Is that it? Is there anything else?
ToyLife. What you know about that ToyLife?
Sir Dork was a name I created when I was in 7th grade, when I first made my original AOL Instant Messenger thing that I used to talk to my friends back in the day. And so I chose Sir because I was really into the PS1 game Medieval, and the character's name is Sir Daniel Fortescue. And so I was like, Sir sounds cool. All right, I'll add that. And then I was a dork, I guess. So I wanted to mix those together and make Sir Dork. And the 730 is my birthday. And so I've been using that for everything ever since ever since then. Collecting. Well, I mean, like it's got to trace back to like when we're kids. Like there's um there's always like that desire, like as a little kid, to have every single one of those like characters or action figures that's in your head that you want. And then once you grow up and you have money for yourself, then you can finally like fulfill that like collection dream you had. So I didn't start actually like heavily start buying things. I think it was like 2013 is when I really started digging in and just started buying and filling up shelves. It came collecting first and then the photography. So I started out kind of like every time I would get a new figure, I post about it on Instagram and say, sweet, check out this new figure, kind of like almost everyone on Instagram who also collects does. But every time I did it, like the photo became more and more kind of creative. And I ended up being more into taking the photos instead of actually like buying figures after that. And then I found like this giant, toy photography community on Instagram and just learned so much from then. And then just after that, it just took off. Just like that was all I ever wanted to do after that. Favorite piece. Man, that's tough. Sometimes some of my favorite ones end up being like not necessarily the nicest one, but like one that I've like have the most memories with. Like there's one just like Star Wars Black Series Stormtrooper, just like a basic Imperial Stormtrooper. And I've been using that one trooper since like the beginning of me starting to shoot, and also like me getting better at different like practical effects and this kind of thing. So this figure is beaten and weathered and torn and dirty, but it's just like he's got so much character, and like we've been through so much together. So it's probably just like that one specific stormtrooper that we've gone through this whole journey together. So like he's probably my favorite at this point. Um, so I have a 3-0 T60 Power Armor action figure from Fallout. I got him I spent $450 on him, but I got a really good deal on it, and like that was the only time I was ever able to find him for less than like 1,200, which is like insane. It's got to be the Hasbro Black Series, Star Wars Black Series line. So it's my favorite for so many reasons. Like, first of all, I'm just a big Star Wars fan, so I love the fact that they continuously keep pumping out new figures of like really popular characters, not even some small time characters. So there's just so many of them to collect in such huge variety. But at the same time, they're like really available. Like you could go into the store and you could find the one you want right there. Like you can actually go and find it, which I really enjoyed that aspect. And I really they're also just good for what I want for for toy photography. They're articulated, and they're affordable. They're only like 25 bucks or 20 bucks. So I can't help it. Just got to get as many of those as I can. That's always like a goal, really, to like try and collaborate with companies, especially ones that you already like. So the Mountain Dew one. So I started this kind of fun toy photography series with Power Rangers and Mountain Dew, just because like the colors kind of matched up and it would just sound like a ton of fun. And so I did 3 of those photos, and Mountain Dew actually noticed them, and I got an email saying, "Hey, we saw your photos. We really like them. We'd like to send you some more cans as long as you continue the series. We'd like you to take some more photos." And I was like, "Wow!" With LoomCube, so I'm an affiliate with the company LoomCube, which is they just create really handy portable lighting sources for photography, and they work perfectly for toy photography. So I've been using them for quite a while, and one of the times I won like a contest of theirs, and so I reached out and I was like, "Hey, if you need any help promoting, I'm your guy." And they're like, "Oh yeah, just fill out this form." And so they accepted me, and now so that's kind of like an affiliate partnership I kind of have with them, where sometimes they give me stuff and I post about it, and then if anyone buys anything through my specific link that I have, I get a little bit of profit from it. So it like helps them out and helps me out. So it's pretty cool what I have with them. I live in upstate New York, so I'm about 3 hours north from New York City. So it's a very just like it's not very urban, it's not very rural, but there's a lot of local parks and just like local like hiking areas. Like where I am, it's not far from the Adirondack Mountains, so there's a lot of wildlife kind of preserve areas around. I also just kind of like to explore and find different places. So I just have a nice handful of good spots that are around me that sometimes I have to travel a little bit. Um, but most of the time, I do most of my shooting just like in the parking lot in my apartment complex. Um, which, as long as I kind of like angle things right, you'd have no idea. With certain toys that are very sought after, if you don't pre-order that, you're probably not going to get it for at least a decent price, you know. So yeah, I try to keep up as best I can with certain items, and I'll definitely pre-order ones I know I have to have, so I get them first. But then there's a couple of them that I'll still try to hunt down and try to find in person, because there's a certain charm and joy to actually finding something in the wild, and there's nothing really like it. Like recently, Mattel came out with their Baby Yoda plushie toy, and I didn't pre-order him. And for a while, I was kind of like, man, I should have pre-ordered him. But then we were just shopping in Walmart recently with our masks on, and there he was, one left on the shelf. He was like, "Oh my God, there he is!" And so yeah, that's probably my most recent experience with that kind of hunt. But yeah, there's been times where I've gone to like 10 different Walgreens in my area looking for like a Walgreens exclusive or whatever. So yeah, that hunt is definitely real. Well, first of all, the one of the ways I learned really was seeing other people's behind the scenes. So I mean, I love helping others, especially if I can open people up to this hobby and maybe start for themselves. Like, absolutely. And also just like, making this kind of like how to and like almost like tutorial kind of things. It's a way to bring traffic into your page, especially if you're trying to grow as a page or even as like a brand. It's a really great way to bring people in. And the more people that are in this community and the more people that are in this hobby and the more awareness around this hobby, blah, 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 in turn, it affects you as your brand, and your account will also grow. It's like, it's good for everyone, really. Well, I would just want to say thank you so much for anyone who's watched any of my videos or have viewed my content at any time. That kind of support goes a long way. So if you're just getting started with this kind of thing, my best advice is what I tell everyone is to always continue to try new things and experiment and do things out of your comfort zone. That's the best way to learn and to get better. The first time you try, it might suck, but later on, you'll learn from that. So it's always good to try new things, and as long as you're still having fun, at least it's always good to push yourself a little bit.